Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to another live stream for Elite Dangerous. Nice to see you all here. Hope everyone's doing well here at the end of the weekend already, or at least here in the UK. And we're still here in the Lagoon Nebula, pretty much where we left off on Friday. In fact, exactly the same space where we stayed off on Friday. So nice to see everyone anyway. Hello there, John O'Neill. Hey Raptor. Hi Trey. Starlost, greetings from Vegas. Hello there. Probably not far from true, Rusty Dog. I'd have to curb it a little bit, wouldn't I? Right, so yes, we're here today on both YouTube and Twitch. Hello there, Bugfield. I don't know who I was hosting before the stream. So I don't know who you've been watching for the last 2 hours, but it wasn't me. So yeah, nice little spot here for now. We're just about to take off and head to Thor's Eye, I think. So this was one of the landing spots in Distant Worlds 1. Not exactly these specific coordinates, but this planet. It was one of the waypoints there. Yeah, nice little campfire here. Get out and roast some marshmallows on the fumaroles. So yeah, very cozy there, Petroleum. Anyway, let's get moving. Hope everyone's had a good weekend so far at any rate. So I don't know, Keltis, if anything new has been discovered by the expedition. I do know that there's a bunch of things. I've been hosting That's Right. Thanks, Barkfield. Yeah, I do know there's a bunch of things over in the ring systems of Waypoint 2 that people have discovered. I don't think there's anything new as such there, though. But hopefully we'll make it back that way today as well, so we can have a look. I forgot to have a look at that early on before we come back this way. John O'Neill. A bit too cold outside. Whereabouts are you, if you don't mind me asking? It's been pretty cold here as well. Trifid Nebula. Yeah, it's a lovely little spot. It's very dark here. Probably could do with a bit of what do we call it? Night vision. Although sometimes I think the night vision adds to the atmosphere. Sometimes I think it kind of removes from the atmosphere. Minus 40 in Winnipeg. Wow, that is pretty cold, John. Lucas, hey there. How are you doing? Great to see you here again. Right. So, yeah, the thing was, what we were having a look at is I'd been out all the way to Waypoint 2. Did a little bit of mining there, and then I wanted to head back to check out some of the waypoint locations that I'd actually, well, not the waypoints, but the points of interest that I'd missed out on. So one of them is here in the Lagoon Nebula, and we just slow down there. The other one, I think, is... Well, there's so many messages here on the Discord. There we go. Just trying to find the old route map again, because I want to see the other points of interest so we could head back. Like I was saying, been to Waypoint 2. And we missed a few of these. Labyrinthito, the maze. We've been there. We've seen the Lagoon Nebula now. Cinnabar Moth Nebula. We've missed that, so we'll go to that on the way back. For now, we'll have a look at Thor's Eye then. I think that'd be pretty easy. We go there. Raptor minus 10. That's pretty cold as well. Hey Stuart. How are you doing all right there? Happy Sunday to you as well. Yeah, so towards Thor's Eye. I don't think we need to spend too much time in the nebula here. Once we've seen one of these nebula, we've pretty much seen them all. So, yeah, a bit of backtracking, and then we'll catch up with Waypoint 2 again and see if we can find those creatures or whatever it is that are in the ring system out that way. Ah, good work there, Stuart, then. Nice. Hello there, Storm Shadow. Right, let's see how many jumps it is to Thor's Eye. I do believe Thor's Eye is actually pretty close. Where's Thor's Eye? UTD? United, I guess that could be. It's actually very close to the Lagoon Nebula, if I remember correctly. There we go, yeah, pretty close. It's only a few jumps. Just so you're wondering there, to see Thor's Eye. Trifid Nebula over in the distance. And the Omega Nebula all the way over there. Earth back there. Will it be spending a full week at every waypoint in Distant Worlds 2? I don't think it's going to be a full week at every waypoint, unless I've misunderstood something. This one would be one of the exceptions because there's a community goal here. It gives everyone a chance to get involved with that before we start moving on. Darth, hello there. Actually evening here. But same to you. Kasparas, thank you very much. Where can we find a waypoint 1, Distant World 1 waypoint list? Right, I'll see in a minute if we can find that for you. There was a whole thread on that. It was very much the same with Distant Worlds 1. Basically, they released the waypoints as we went along. They didn't release them all in one go. Benzo, thank you very much. I'd love a camera system like Red Dead Redemption. That would be fantastic. In fact, a lot of those PlayStation games have pretty good camera systems. Anagon! Well, thank you very much for becoming a member there. Very much appreciated. Like I've said to everyone else who signs up and becomes a member, do check out the YouTube community tab, because you'll see a bunch of private posts there, and it'll list some of the perks that you get for being a YouTube member. So thank you for the support. Right, 4 jumps, very, very close. Do love the colours of the sun here. Do we really need the ship lights on? I don't think so. Not out here. Loopy the McLoop phase, hey there. Vinny, am I thinking of upgrading my 1080 Ti at some point? Not for now, I don't think really. It does a job. I get a pretty good frame rate. I mean, we're in a space here, but it's locked at 60 frames a second because that's what I've capped it out as. I've got VSync on. But I haven't really seen a need to go above the 980 Ti at the moment. I mean, what's the 980 Ti equivalent of anyway? Somewhere between a GTX 1060 and a 1070, isn't it, I believe? So Thor's Eye is, have a look at it again on the galaxy map here, just so we can get an idea of what it's all about and why we want to go there. So it's not a planetary nebula or anything like that, but what is there is, if you don't know, we'll leave it as a bit of a surprise, but it should give us some great backdrops, or should give us suitable effects on the backdrop, let's say it that way. Hi there, Sten. Yeah, glad to see you as well. max. I don't think many of us will be buying the 20 series anytime soon. So yeah, I kind of don't think I'll be buying the 20 series either. At least not at the moment. I don't really see the need for it. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought then, Trey. So the GTX 980 Ti somewhere in between the 1060 and the 1070. At least, like as you point out, for not using the ray tracing. Benzo, yes, I'll get you the HUD colours, or you can do a Google search for them. Obsidian Ant HUD colours. Google will give you the information. Otherwise, I'll post them for you in just a moment. Well, Draco, hello there. Can we have an update on the Distant World 2's CGs? Good point. Soil, let's have a look in just a moment. We've got them signed up, so we should be able to see the progress from exactly where we are here. Something like that, Mikhail. Plunderberg, Sunday's been good so far. The whole weekend's been good, in fact. Thanks for asking. Hope yours is as well. Right, so we're here, I think, unless I'm mistaken now, I think we just made it into the Thor's Eye system. And we've got a pretty big star here, or a pretty big sun. So yeah, in these cases, sun and star are interchangeable. I think some people may wonder why I kind of interchange with using the word here, but basically a star is a, well, how do we phrase it? All suns are stars, but not all stars are suns. So essentially, a star will be classified as a sun when it's got other planetary bodies going around it, or when it's at the centre of a star system. Oh, we got one more jump then. I thought we was actually there. Let's see what's in this system whilst we're here. Ah, just the stars. Right, so nearly there. As we're heading through hyperspace, just want to briefly mention about the Discord server that we opened up late last year. It's actually just about to hit 4,000 members. We had a lot of growth there, really, really fast. A lot of members. It's a nice community over there, actually. So that's the Obsidian Ant Discord server. There may be a link appearing in both the respective chats in a moment. Oh, Nightbot has done it over on Twitch. Oh, thanks to Stuart. Thank you very much. Maybe someone could get the Discord link over in YouTube there. This is a massive star. But if you fancy coming along, we're very close to hitting 4,000 members. So anyone who joins in the next few minutes will probably be the 4,000th member, which wouldn't be a bad thing. So yeah, pretty nice over there. In large part thanks to the great moderators we got there as well, which do fantastic work, just as they do here in YouTube chat and Twitch chat. Right, so this is a truly massive star, isn't it? You can see how long it's taken us to actually get away from that. Let's see how far away that actually is now. So, not the largest of stars, of course, but 100 light seconds away now. Let's see how large it looks like when we get up to 500 light seconds, because Earth is 500 light seconds away from our own sun, or thereabouts. So I'm gonna just out of interest, just for scale's sake. Right, so that's we're roughly the same distance now as we would be from, or as Earth is from our own sun. I just want to see the scale of this star here. Yeah, so it's significantly larger than our own star would look at this particular distance. Not one of the largest stars in the game, of course, far from it, but still pretty big. Oh wow, Trey, that was quick. So thanks for everyone for just coming along to Discord, all the new members there. We've already hit 4,000 members, I'm being told. That was pretty quick. I don't know if we can see who the 4,000th member was, can we? It'd be pretty interesting to see. "4,005 members already. That was pretty quick indeed. Cool. So this is the Great Phantom, for anyone actually asking. Right, now the reasons we come to Thor's Eye, let's get back in the ship, is for a very specific reason. Not for the star, but for the other bodies that are actually here. And you can probably got a good idea of what it is down the bottom there right now. Oh, it's a few thousand light seconds away, so a little bit of a journey to get over there, but it's going to be worth it. Storm Shadow, absolutely really enjoying the Great Phantom. I think it's easily the best exploration ship in the game, at least for me personally. I'm not a big fan of the Anaconda. That's simply because I'm not a big fan of the larger ships. So that kind of leaves me with just this Great Phantom. It's better all round really than the Asp Explorer in my own opinion. But you know, that's subjective. Everyone got different ideas. So, as you probably figured out down the bottom there, Thor's Eye B, the second main body, I guess you could term it as, in this star system, is actually a black hole, and it's a pretty darn large one. If we move down a bit, we probably should be able to see some of the gravitational lensing effects, even from this distance. Let's kind of move down a little bit, and we should be able to see that. I haven't got headlock switched enabled to any key, so we can't quite see at the moment. There we go. You should be able to see some distortion effects just coming into the there we go, the core of the galaxy there, as the light distorts through it and bends around it. And that's still at 2,700 light seconds away, so 5 times the distance from Earth to the Sun at the moment, and we can still see it. So pretty big. The jump range, Stephen, is 60 light years. We actually had pretty fun around here, a lot of fun around here in Distant Worlds 1. I come here with a wing, and we just spent a bunch of time flying around the black hole here. In fact, I've still got footage that I use from time to time in videos of it, and you may have seen the little ships trying to penetrate the black hole, all bumping into it and bumping back, because what happens is we got as close to it as we could, and then I just kept flying towards it in regular flight mode until we hit the exclusion zone, and then basically your ships just keep bouncing back and forth, and it looked kind of strange, to say the least. Oh, Benzu, sorry, couldn't find the HUD colour there. Whilst we're flying here, I'll very quickly see if we can find that. Right. Now, you'll notice something happens here. The colours actually change. Ah, Lady Caruso, hello there. Nice to see you over on Twitch. Itch, no, I didn't engineer the ship much. I just used Felicity Farseer, engineered the FSD drive and lightweighted the sensors, and that was pretty much it. This is a new account, so... Right, so we want to try and not crash into it too much here, but I want to get actually as close to it as we can. And neutron stars, and it seems black holes, give this weird lighting effect to the system nowadays. Old gamer, we're actually going to get much closer. We're going to get as close to this as we actually can. Yet John also got the Guardian FSD booster, as you point out there. Well worth having. If anyone hasn't got that and they want to do a bit of travelling, certainly worth spending a bit of time getting that. Line to it. We get to it, close to it as we can. Thanks, Max. Right. It's kind of weird because it gets really difficult to see where the outer edge here is of the black hole actually is. But we are going to drop out of that super cruise in a minute, as we'll get so close and it will actually automatically knock us out of super cruise. Laura, I think it was about 70 jumps from the bubble to at waypoint 2 in my ship. Oh, looks like we actually managed to go by this one. Look at that. I'll tell you what, this does look super weird in VR. I don't know if anyone's ever been to these sort of things in VR. You really do lose orientation. Didn't expect to actually get around that there. I thought we was gonna end up crashing into it. Okay, for the people asking in Twitch, there's my HUD colour right there. Thanks to Max over on YouTube for getting the link. Right, now as long as we're not too fast here, we should be... Oh no, let's get around the other side. We'll get a better view. Stephen Hodges, thank you very much for that. Very much appreciated. And I'm glad you find the content helpful. Thank you. It means a lot. Monty, yes, I'm playing on PC here. Alright, so I've actually come back around this side of the black hole, because when you're looking at them against dark space, they're kind of hard to actually see. I'd rather see it with a backdrop of the galactic core behind it, like that. Right, now we're going to fly into it as close as we actually can. Michael, yes, this black hole is orbiting a star, and I do believe that is scientifically accurate. It'll depend on which one's got the greater mass. Oh, wow, we're super close here, just 500 kilometers. Here we go, we're going to get a... Let's hope we don't end up in trouble. Right, so we may see a little bit of heat being taken on here. Hopefully not too much. In fact, it's probably a good idea to fire up the heat sinks here. No, we're good. We're fine. So you get body exclusion zone here. That's basically, it means you can't really fly much closer to it, I don't believe. Beyond that, so see what will happen is your ship will keep ricocheting back. You can see my thruster exhaust fumes, if we can call it that, right in front of me. So despite the fact that I'm trying to fly forward, the game won't actually let me get any closer, which is kind of weird. And if you actually see other ships doing this, sometimes you'll see them bouncing back and forward. So I'll choose to say that's just my my ship's computer refusing to fly closer to the black hole for safety reasons. But it would be pretty nice if we could get closer there, wouldn't it? There's a free Anaconda inside. You know what? There could be a whole bunch of free ships inside, assuming people were actually able to fly into it. The trouble is you can get in there and get the ships, but you can't get back out again with them. I don't think you can jump through it, no. It looks pretty neat. Although I would really love to see some upgraded visuals for some of these, like accretion discs. And this is when it starts getting a bit trippy. You start rotating your camera around it. He's sitting in there quite calmly, look, doesn't seem too bothered by any of this at all. I'm not sure I'd be that calm right near a real black hole. SWE, black holes at the moment are just for visual purposes. Yeah, there's nothing you can really do with them. You can go and look at them, they can't really hurt you, although they will overheat your ship a little bit as you try to jump away. But that's pretty much it. But hopefully at some point we'll get some updated visuals to these, and that will make a nice difference to what they actually look like right now. Oh, Cam, that's really cute. My kids really don't get excited about Elite or space, although I wish they did. D-Pain, you can bind keys via the control screen for the classified camera. Fox, yes, some ships will get too hot if they're too close to the black holes. You're spot on. You just need to make sure you've got a fairly cold running ship. Zanak, if you go inside the black hole, you'll permakill your commander. Yeah, or if you go inside the black hole, you'll end up in another dimension, somewhere trapped behind a bookcase. Or something. Yeah, the black holes are really the area I think Frontier need to work on next. I'd love to see that. Black holes and comets. I agree with the point being made there. Chili, if you want to share photos with me, you can, from the game, you can send them over on the Discord channel, or the Discord server. We've got a gallery over there and a Distant World 2 channel as well, so if you want to post them there, I'll be sure to check it out. It's a scientifically proven fact that if you enter a black hole, you'll find Carl Sagan. Very nice, Pony. Hey there, Sergeant Stubby. Great to see you here. Right. So, there's another very interesting effect. I'm actually facing away from the black hole now, and some of you will have seen this plenty of times by now. But you get this great kind of distortion field when you're this close to a black hole and you actually... Before I do it, I want to make sure I've got a key bound to the heatsink here. Little Haina, yep, another stream. I'm glad to hear you enjoyed Friday's stream as well. SWE, I don't have a video on how to get the Guardian FSD, but Exegius does. So if you do a search for Exegius on YouTube and Guardian FSD, he's got an excellent guide there that will give you exactly what you need to know. Yeah, it's nice just experimenting with a camera a little bit here. You know, because why not? Commander Emulated Penguin, hello there. Nice to see you here. Right, so what I want to show you here is another interesting effect that as we jump away, you'll see, and keep in mind the black hole is behind me now, so the distortion effects we're seeing in front are just down to the gravitational artifacts of the black hole rather than looking at the black hole itself. And you'll see a pretty neat effect as we get into supercruise to head away from it, but we probably will need to use a heatsink here, maybe, or not. No, here we go. You should see it just here. Space kind of contracts in front of us and then boom, a very odd looking effect. Do I have a link for the Discord channel? Yes. There we go. Right, so I think that might well be all we get to see in this area. So Shapely 1 was the first point of interest. We looked at the view. Cycladia was the Earth-like world that was ringed. And I'm talking about the different points of interest along between waypoint 1 and waypoint 2 here. Labyrinthito was the world that had the massive canyons on it, which I believe that word is the word, or the Greek word for maze. Thor's Eye is where we are now. The Lagoon Nebula was where we were previously. Cinnabar Moth Nebula. So let's head to that, and then we get to the PW 2010 Supercluster. So those are the last 2 points of interest between waypoint 1 and waypoint 2 of the Distant Worlds expedition. This one's a little bit further out here. I'll actually have to head up quite a little bit, so somewhat off the beaten track before we get down there to the 2010 supercluster. So yeah, we will go up here. Might as well. I just cancel that. Do that again. Right, so a few jumps, but we're getting on our way right now. Felix, there's a micronebula on the route from Lagoon to Moth. Oh, that's pretty interesting. I'm gonna have a look at that in a moment. Have I heard any recent stats on how much of the Elite universe has been explored? So Max, the last information I saw on that was sometime last year, and it was from Frontier. They posted it to their Twitter account, and they said that 0.03% or thereabouts of the galaxy had been explored. So it won't be significantly amount more than that at the moment. So way less than 0.1% has been explored so far, and that's 4 years into the game's life. So going by that, it's probably going to take 8 years to explore 0.1%. A long old time. Big galaxy. Now here's someone, a few people there saying having trouble with the stream. I hope it's coming across alright for everyone. The stream's actually going out okay this end. I've not really seen any bandwidth issues, although there was a bit of a drop a moment ago, a few seconds. Has the entirety of the bubble been discovered and mapped? I'm not actually sure about that, Cosmic. Little Hyena, you kept away from the Pleiades Nebula due to the Thargoids. Well, I kind of don't blame you. Although the Thargoids have proven themselves to be fairly passive, if you leave them alone, they usually leave you alone. But if you do get too close, they might attack you. Okay, John, thanks for that. Hopefully everyone else is not having an issue there. It could be an issue coming from Restream, perhaps, which is a service I use to stream both onto YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Oh, David, you're having resolution issues as well. Okay, how's everyone over on Twitch? Stream quality okay over there? System name CSI 20. Is that the Planetary Nebula, Felix? Okay, cool. Thanks. Great to know the stream is fine over on Twitch. So it seems to be a bit of a YouTube thing going on there. Although, yeah, we're dropping some bandwidth here a little bit again. This end. Very odd. Logarithmic. I'm actually heading to the Moth Nebula at the moment. Just having a... We got to waypoint 2 on Friday. I did a bit of the mining community goal over there. So waypoint 2 is for the Distant Worlds 2 expedition, which you've probably heard about. A big community event where literally thousands of people are travelling across the galaxy. It's all broken down into waypoints, and we got to the second waypoint on Friday. Everyone's actually meeting there before they move on to waypoint 3, which is yet to be announced. I think they're announcing that next week. But for now, after having gotten to waypoint 2, I spent a bit of time there, and then I'm backtracking a little bit just to have a look at the other points of interest around the area. So yeah, I'm heading towards the Moth Nebula. Celophile, hello there, and hi to Exiler. Great to see you both. Jojo Gaming. The HUD colour that I gave to you a moment ago is right. That is correct. I actually used that link to copy and paste the colours back into my game account recently, into my graphics file, because as you would have noticed I was playing in orange for quite a while, and I decided to go back to blue again, at least for a while. And it was my website where I got the information from on Reddit, because I couldn't remember my own colour, the HUD colour numbers. Okay, thanks Felix. Let's put that information in there and we'll... it's a slightly different direction now. I'm glad we got it now. Good catch there, Felix. Thanks for that. It's always nice to go into these planetary nebulas, and I haven't seen one like this for a very long time. It's actually been a couple of years since I've been to one like that. Yep, Pedro, definitely the Crate Phantom is better than the Asp Explorer nowadays. I think really it's got a better jump range, it's got more flexibility. Unless you personally prefer the Asp, either for its visual style or for its canopy, and then the Crate is really the ship to go for. So Julian, you're at Waypoint 2 and playing on the Xbox Mobius group. You know, that should be fine, as long as there's other people playing in the Mobius group at Waypoint 2. You should be fine. And certainly you don't need to go into open at any rate. Nothing here to look for. Right, we're nearly there. I do like checking out these systems en route though, because though most of these have probably been discovered by people already, simply because this is a well-travelled area, there's still the possibility you may have come across undiscovered. And it's so for those of you who, and I sometimes see this point raised, that people travel around and everywhere they look at has been discovered already, and that would be simply because you're travelling along well-travelled routes. Essentially you need to go off the beaten path, because over 99% of the galaxies hasn't been discovered yet, so there's plenty out there to actually get tagged. Right in. Has there been any news yet of this year's roadmap or updates? There hasn't. The last information we got from Frontier was in the second half of last year, where Frontier said that they've actually gone into full production on the next update. They haven't told us what it is, or given us any more information about that, or they haven't even told us when the next update is going to be released. So we're expecting it to be 2019, but there's no guarantees of that. So you may have seen I actually moved the destination away from the planetary nebula up ahead there. That's because I actually want to get as close as possible to it, to try and see it from the outside before we jump onto the inside of it. For those of you having trouble with the stream over on YouTube, the people on Twitch seem to be completely fine, so it may be worth having a look over there instead. If you have an issue on YouTube, that is. Analytics are showing fine this end. The stream health is looking fine this end on YouTube, so it may just be YouTube itself messing things up. Right, let's have a look to see if we can see where that planetary nebula is. David, you want to know how me and Yamek started doing videos together? You know, Yamek is actually a big, fluffy, cuddly bear. I've always said that. I've said that to him a few times as well as the times we've been on streams together. He's quite a character, but is actually a pretty respectful guy, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, he approached me. Well, we kind of crossed paths a number of times over the past year, or past 2 years. Simply because we're both content creators on the same game. But he asked me earlier part of last year if we wanted to do some roundtable live streams together, and I agreed with that. Totally on board with that idea, and it kind of went from there. So there is Matthew. Yeah, the language can be a bit of a barrier for some people. Sometimes when people swear a lot, I can understand that being hard to see past. Like you though, Matthew, I've got family who swear every other word, and Yamex is pretty mild compared to some of the family. So, you know. Yet done, you can completely do the Distant Worlds expedition under your own time, under your own power. You don't need to go along at any other rate that's set by Distant Worlds. If you want to skip a waypoint and go straight to waypoint 3, for whatever reason, either because, like you say, your internet's been rubbish, or you've simply not been able to play the game. Maybe you've been away, or maybe you've got other commitments. It doesn't matter, it's fine. You can just skip a waypoint if you want. Just go straight to waypoint 3 or waypoint 4 or whatever one. So, Manuel, the next waypoint will be announced on next Sunday. Waypoint 3. So yeah, they kind of hold the waypoints back because they don't really want people jumping ahead, and it prevents people laying ambushes and all other kind of crazy nonsense. It keeps the fleet together, which is really what it's all about. So yeah, flying the camera about a bit here, but the point I want to make is the planetary nebula there, a few light years away right now, but that is the outer layers of the central star, which has expanded so much that the gravitational forces of the star, the gravitational mass of the star, couldn't hold its atmosphere in any longer, and so it sort of sheds it, and that expands outwards. And what you get left with is the original core of the star, just the centre part of it. So yeah, we're quite close to it now. You know, 3 light years, even 3.5 in real world terms is a significant distance. It's not something that we can actually do in real life. So just for reference, Alpha Centauri is the closest star to Earth. And these are about just over 4 light years away from Earth. So there's not that much different to here. I mean, when we look at the sky and we see Alpha Centauri, we just see a regular star, just a pinprick of light in the sky. So considering this, the planetary nebula is that same sort of distance away, it gives a bit of an idea of the scale there. T. Grobin, hello there. Nice to see you, and yet this is, and yeah, So technically it's not a nebula riding, but they've got the name Planetary Nebula, yeah. It is a nebula. They call them planetary nebulas. Oh, and we got a neutron star right in the centre here. So this is typically what would be left after a star sheds its atmosphere, as we were saying. Although normally you'd expect it to go to a white dwarf, I think, if I've got my science correct there. Lovely colours here though. Oh yeah, we got to have a look at that up a bit closer, I think. So when we're in the planetary nebula, it's actually like being inside a nebula. It's just very, very small by the common scale nebula. We get some pretty stunning colours and backdrops, especially now with the new lighting system from Elite. Or cube, yep. White dwarfs are normally what you'd see when the sun hasn't got enough mass to become a, or isn't large enough to become a neutron star. They become white dwarfs. Let's see if there's anything actually in this system then. So as we get further away from the neutron star, we'll get to see the colours of this nebula a bit more. It's actually, these colours are a little bit distorted due to the vivid blue light that's coming out of this neutron star here. Osmodian, you can download an app to convert the screenshots, or you can just open them up in Microsoft Paint or Windows Paint or whatever that app is called nowadays and save it if you haven't got any other app. Or if you've got Photoshop, load the bitmap into Photoshop and save it. But yeah, I can understand the screenshots that Elite generates are pretty large. Right, I'm going to hang out here with the camera just a moment to see... where's that star gone? We lost track of the neutron star. Perhaps we're so far... Yeah, we can kind of see it there at the back. Got a little bit of lensing around it. It's in the centre of that red glassy cloud bit. I'm kind of hanging back out here at the moment, because as we get away from the star, we should see the colours change and shift a little bit. I just want to kind of... Let's see that. I don't believe you can get Elite to change these format of the screenshots anyway. I think bitmap is the default and that's the only way they will take them. I don't think we're going to see these colours shift, are we? Kind of hoping to see them shift a bit. How far away are we from that? Yeah, normally after 2,000, 2,500 light seconds you'd actually see a colour shift. But that's not happening here, so that's fine. Right. I'm going to go and have a look at this landable planet anyway. It's actually got a very fast orbit there. You can see it spinning on the system map here. It just tells us it's got a rapid orbit here. We might be able to see that information in fact. Orbital period 1172 days. Actually got a pretty small radius as well. So let's go have a look at that. Maybe there's some geological surface features over there. It's always neat landing on a planet inside a nebula. So Danny, this is the Crate Phantom. Brian, this is very close to Thor's Eye. The system number you can see just there. CSI 2017462. About 4,000 light years or so away from Sol. Is the Crate Phantom any good for mining? It is indeed. Yep. Prodigal found. I've no idea if there's player groups trying to stop the Distant Worlds 2 journey, but no one's going to be able to do that. Try as they might, it's not going to happen. I mean, at the end of the day, there's 12,000 players out here on the expedition, so there may be some people coming out for PvP, but unless they number in the thousands, they're not going to have much of a overall impact on things, really. Although it's unfortunate for anyone who does get caught up if they don't want to be caught in that. Yep, just as Stuart points out on Twitch there, 12,000 players versus 100 PvPers. It's nothing really to... 13,000, Felix points out recently. So 13,000 players versus a few dozen maybe PvPers. It's really nothing to worry about. Not in the grand scheme of things, really. Although, you know, unfortunate for people who unintentionally get caught up with it, but you know, if you don't want to get caught in that, don't play an open. There's a number of player groups now, so that's going to look like it might have some interesting geological sites down there. Not in terms of vents and stuff, but just simply because of the colours. So let's have a look there. Oh, no, that's not what we want to do. We want to use the surface scanner here. We're now out of range. No, we're still out of range. You know why? You know why? Because we've got the wrong planet selected. There we go. Really trying to figure out what the heck was going on there. Everything's so green. Yes, I do like the Crate Phantom more than the Asp Explorer. Right, let's see if we can do it with 6 probes here. I'm not too worried about get in the efficiency target. Hopefully there'll be something interesting there. Are we going to not get the 90? Yeah, we got it. I didn't think we was going to get it there. Yes, I do use a HOTUS. I've got a Warthog. Thrustmaster Warthog here. Right. So we have got some geological sites down there. Not many, but a few. Let's see if we can find a few on that light side of the planet here. They're not going to be quite so interesting if they're around the dark side, unfortunately. They always seem to be around the dark side for some reason. There we go. No biological sites, but not bad. Flying Pancake. I did change my HUD colours. I've actually changed them to blue. Oh wow, I keep doing this. That's what happens when I pay attention to chat and not. Don't fly. Don't fly and read chat. We don't mind missing a target or two, do we? So, Bulldog, it gets a credit bonus. Meeting the efficiency target, but I've no idea what the efficiency target is. Phoenix Blue, yes, so getting them on the Terminator, the geological sites, is the ideal location. Totally agree with that. We'll have a look, see if we can find something like that in a moment. I do use VR, although nowhere near as much as I used to. Nephirim. Right, let's see what we got down here then. Colours are definitely strikingly odd here, aren't they? Let's see if we don't hit the ground. Whoa, that gravity is higher than I was expecting. Nearly had a catastrophe there. Rescue 1, thank you very, very much. Very much appreciated, thank you. I did see a little message there along with it, I didn't quite catch that. 2 seconds. Nice stream, thank you, I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Thanks for that. Right, very blue here as people are pointing out. I thought we was going to have a bit of a disaster there for a moment because coming in a little bit hot. It's one of the reasons some people say fly without the distributor powered. You can actually power the distributor down and you don't really need it just when you're flying around, and it will save you some heat. But when you use your power, like in your shields or the engines, they won't recharge, and this is one of the reasons I actually do that. Because I'm prone to crashing into the planets. Matthew Sharp, thank you very much. Very kind of you. See if we can find somewhere to land here. I doubt whether we're going to be able to land among the field here. Yeah, the ship runs cool enough anyway, Phoenix, I think here really for me. That's why I don't bother turning the power distributor off. Where can we going to set down here? We must be able to... Here we go, just outside the field itself. There we go. Yep, Osmodian. I've been to waypoint 2 and then I went back out exploring again. Visitron. Well, thank you very much. What's the planet's gravity? 1.2 Gs. Not super high, but high enough that if you're not paying attention, you're going to have a little bit of a trouble, which is why I nearly hit the ground a little bit too hard there. I wasn't expecting it to be at 1.2 or 1.27, yeah. This is really unusual coloration, isn't it? New lighting effect. Showing off really great here. Oh, that does look alien, doesn't it? Very alien looking landscape. Oh, there's a nice big vent over there. Maybe we'll travel over that way in just a second. The trouble is, often by the time you get over to those places, they tend to fade out a little bit. Well, it's still going. Perhaps we'll go over to that one. Let's go head over there. Yeah, Patrick, the asteroids that have got mother loads in them, use the pulse wave scanner and you'll find they're much brighter than the rest, and they also have a dark black grid on them. And I'm not sure if that dark black grid is a bug or if it's intentional. But essentially, they'll have a dark core to them once the pulse wave scanner is activated. But they're the ones that you want to look out for. I want to get to this vent here. It looks quite different to the rest. A few resources over there as well. I'm going to try and collect a few maybe. Don't think I'll drive into this one this time. Those who have watched Friday's stream, you'll remember I drove into some of these vents and shot up pretty high into the air. But it was worth it. It was a neat shot. Al, it was great to see you back again. Yeah, I'm doing fine, thank you. How's you? As I thought, we get over here and it kind of peters out. It's a bit of a shame. I was venting very well there. Probably won't be too much longer before it vents again though. It wasn't that long ago that you needed some serious graphics modifications to try and get this sort of look to the game. Not so much now though. Oh, congrats on that, Helms. Thank you, Raymar. Oh, wow, Black Legion. Thank you very, very much. Very generous of you. Thank you. I'm glad you like the videos. I'm also a solo wayfarer across the galaxy. I tend to play a lot on my own here. So, yeah, very much like you there. Oh, Mike. Thank you very much. Very kind. Been watching your content since started playing in Elite in 2015. I'm very glad, very pleased that you like the content, that you find it helpful and interesting. Thank you both very, very much for that. Very much appreciated. think I'll find a good camera spot there, and then realise we've got the handbrake stuck on. For some reason we couldn't change the handbrake off. Kind of like this angle because you can see the ship over in the distance. And it's almost follows the rule of thirds here as well, this angle. The Galactic Wolf, thank you. You're very welcome, and thank you for that, and I hope you enjoy the Crate Phantom as much as I do. Thank you. I kind of wish that the only thing I do wish was better on here is there's very limited camera range on the external camera when you're down on planets, and you can see that here. It actually starts pulling the camera along with the SRV. And it's a bit of a shame. I'd like this range to be better. I think it's about 500 meters or something like that. A lot lower than I would really like. PM Collector Boy, I'm not sure if salvaging was actually removed from Star Citizen, or if you mean it's been removed from the roadmap. I think it's been removed from the roadmap, if I'm correct there, if I'm remembering right, or if I'm understanding right. Karama, nice to see you. The Distant Worlds 2 exploration is going very well, thank you. Yep, that was the free cam Osmodin. It's just a shame it's kind of limited in its range. I'm going to try and get a few resources whilst we're out here, I think. Yep, if you buy the VR version on Oculus Maxwell, you can still play it in regular mode. That will work perfectly fine. So this has been a new account. Most of you are probably aware of that by now. I haven't actually got a whole lot of material resources on here. So when we're on locations like this, it's always worth picking up a little bit. Obviously we don't need it for engineering out here, but we need it for synthesis. What is my Twitch? I haven't got the link off to hand here. Maybe one of the mods wouldn't mind putting it in chat there. That'd be really great. Thank you. Otherwise, I'll see if I can get it at the moment. I can't remember if there's a bot command. I would have stuck it in if there was. I've done it myself. Antimony. That's a bit better. Sometimes it's running away, look. Looks like a rolling hedgehog. Come back. Look at that. Let's see how far it rolls. I'll go on, keep going. It lost some momentum there by getting caught by the rock. It's heading to my ship. It's going to jump into my ship's engines and destroy the thrusters. Come on, let's go catch that before it gets trapped under the ship or something stupid. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I was trying to steal the ship. There we go. For those asking the Twitch channel, I've just stuck the link in that YouTube chat there. Get a few more resources, bits and bobs before we go anywhere. We're getting a nice variety of here. precious cobble. None of these are running away quite as fast as the others. Now this is pretty neat when you get on a planet that's got 1G or more. The rocks and the materials always fall straight to the ground, rather than on the lower G worlds they kind of shoot up into the air. And you never really know where they're going to land. This is a really nice area to drive around in. It's another thing about the high G worlds I really like as well, is you get much more traction on the SRV. It tends not to slip anywhere near as much. Ms. Romar, thank you very, very much for that. Thank you. Where did that other one go? There it is. Yeah, thanks, Ms. Romar. Yeah, exactly, Fizzotron. This is what I try and do sometimes. You shoot the materials on low G welds, they kind of fly right up into the air, and I sometimes do the same, boost up into the air to try and catch them. But ultimately, I really do like the high G welds. They're a real pleasure to drive around on, simply because the SRV isn't slipping and sliding all over the place. Can't quite see that one. That one doesn't want to come out, does it? See if we get a bit closer there. Wow, I guess you're staying put. Actually, why don't we scan the fumarole with the composition scanner while we're here? Good point. Maxavius, no, there's no word on any new SRVs at the moment. I don't imagine any of them are going to come anytime soon. I suspect maybe at one point in the future, if we get new planet types, then that would be when we see new SRVs, and probably not before, but you know, who knows. Is this system very far from the Omega station, Howlers? Yes, it's about 1,000 light years. It's not too far. Well, it shouldn't take too long if you've got a decent jump range. In fact, we should probably get back into the ship now and carry on our journey up towards the Moth Nebula. Otherwise, we're never going to make it there in time before the end of the stream, are we? That's a really nice location here. I'm glad we stopped off here. So thank you, Felix, for the tip to come here to this location. So another downside with the external cam is that it's pinned to the axis of the SRV, so as the SRV bounces around, the camera bounces, which again is a bit of a shame. I don't know if that's a glitch about not being able to get the material pieces off the fumaroles. I think they're just wedged in so tight that the bullets can't hit them. Turn off the stabilizer. Ah, of course. Thank you, Bulldog. Well, it's been a long time since I've done that, and I completely forgot about the ability even. Make sure to do that on the next planet there. Thank you. One thing that is kind of crazy about the amount of light that we see here on this planet, or this moon, it was a planet, wasn't it, not a moon, is the fact that the star is so far away. You wouldn't expect to see quite as much light, at least not normally. You don't in Elite. Not when you're that far away. No, I guess not too so far after all. I thought it was a bit further away than that. Right, let's keep going. So we're heading up here to the Moth Nebula. Got a squadron bookmark here. Now this is the Fleetcom squadron. But they've bookmarked this for a specific reason. I imagine there's a decent looking location there. Okay, not too far to go. I thought we were a bit further away than that. Yeah, thanks, Bulldog. I'll go through those options again. Well, wrong button. I was meant to go into hyperspace there, not come out Super Cruise. Yeah, the funny thing is, it's the distance there for the camera being locked to the ship is much greater in space than it is when you're around a planet. So Dragon, this is the oh wow, we're overheating a little bit here. Let's vent some of that heat. Let's try this the normal way. Up into Super Cruise again. So part of that was down to the gravity of the world here. Small bit of overheating really does damage the modules pretty quickly, doesn't it? Ah, now this is what I wanted to see early on. For some reason we're getting a much brighter, vivid look at the nebula here, which is what I wanted to see earlier. We've kind of moved away from the blue cast of the neutron star. I'm not sure why we've done that now when we didn't do it earlier on, considering we flew so much farther out. I think that planet's way in the distance. Oh, there it is. Little pink marble, look. Right, is that the Lagoon Nebula or the Moth Nebula? That's my question. I think that's probably the Lagoon Nebula. The Lagoon Nebula, even. Yeah, that must be the Lagoon Nebula. We're heading away from it. Okay. Now, Mikey, nice to see you here. Mr. Martial Arts, Thank you very, very much for that. Thank you. And yes, all is well. I hope all is well your end as well. And you're very welcome as well. So metal head machines, how do I change the HUD colours? So you can only do this on PC. It's not officially supported, although Frontier don't mind you doing it. And what you have to do is go into one of the configuration files for the game. It's graphics config or graphics overrides, something like that, .xml. You can find it in the local apps or the apps data folder in the on your C drive. I can't remember the exact path off the top of my head, but basically you put some color code in there, some information that gives you various different HUDs. Alternatively, you can use the tool ED Profiler, which would be much easier. If you have a look, do a Google search for ED Profiler. Made by Dr. Kai. Of Distant Worlds fame. It's a little installation and a little tool that allows you to change many different things, including your HUD colour. Sorry, Hounds, I don't remember what the system name was. Let's see if we can backtrack a little bit there. There we go. So in case you're wondering where we just were, it's CSI 2017-462. Raptor, thank you very, very much. Appreciated. Yeah, ED Profile is a great tool, definitely. Well worth having a look at. Not much here. I'll actually do a few more jumps before we stop off and start scanning. Mithril Tia, thank you very much. A beverage of choice. Thank you, very kind. Right, 9 bodies here. Do we stop off and have a look? I don't think we should. I think we should just keep going. As long as we don't overheat the ship too much. But I'm not too worried because we can repair it at the mining station, which we're not too far away from, fortunately. Although it's so tempting when you see like 22 bodies, because You never really know what you're going to find here. Most of this, like I say though, has already been discovered, so yeah, we keep going. We want to make it to the place up here. It's obviously been bookmarked for a reason, so let's have a look very quickly on the Distant Worlds 2 point of interest area, if it says anything specific about this. A red-black nebula resembling a moth or a butterfly from certain angles. So it doesn't look like there's anything specific in terms of planets here in the Moth Nebula. I was kind of hoping there would be. Excuse me. DJ, yes, I did go with a 6A fuel scoop. Had the money to spare, so, you know, why not? Allows me to jump that a little bit quicker. Generally, if I'm not streaming or anything, I focus a lot more on the speed of my jumping here. I tend to go straight into the next jump before I've finished fuel scooping, so just gets you into quite a good rhythm and gets you through the jumps that much faster. Crunchy Spider, what is Distant Worlds 2? Okay, so Distant Worlds 2 is a community-created event for Elite Dangerous, and it's actually the largest ever community-created event. It's got, here, 12,000 or 13,000 people signed up for it now, players. And it's an expedition, an exploration journey across the other side, to the other side of the galaxy. So 65,000 light years, and it's planned to take 20 weeks, and then I think they've got a return journey organised at the end of it for those who also want to get involved with that. But we're actually on the first stage of it now. It's been broken down into different stages and different waypoints. Dr. Anwid, hey there. How are you? Actually heading towards the Moth Nebula now. We've already been to waypoint 2 early on in the week. Did a bit of mining there and then turned around to come back just to have a bit of exploration of the points of interest that I missed out on previously. Visitron, I think there's just 2 tags. You get the first discovered by and first mapped by. I don't think there's a first detailed scan tag. Ideas Hour. So it depends on at what point you want to go on a Distant Worlds 2 expedition. If you've just started playing, I don't know how long you've been playing. Is that a few days or a few weeks? But you can go with a relatively cheap ship if you want. I actually made a video on this over on YouTube a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, showing how much you need to spend in order to go on Distant Worlds 2. And I think the cheapest ship was around about the 10 million credits mark. Might have been 12 million credits. But that would be enough to get you onto the Distant Worlds 2 expedition. So basically, there's not really that much stopping you. If you want to go, then you can do that. A little bit of exploration around the bubble and follow the path to road to riches, or a bit of mining. You'll easily get yourself 10 million credits. Visitron, I don't actually know that. I should know that, but I don't know that. I do need a detailed surface scanner to get first discovered by, or can you get it just from a honk? Osmodian, yes, the return journey for Distant Worlds 2 follows the Star Trek USS Voyager's trip through the Delta Quadrant. I've heard that before. I think that's a really neat idea. Hopefully it takes a bit less time than it did for Voyager. Zabadian. So first map spy is with the detailed surface scanner. Thanks. Cornflakes. What is a honk? Honk is what I just did right there. Here we do it again. Do it again just for the sake of it. Just for the fun of it. There, explorers call that the honk. It's basically using the Discovery scanner to scan for planets and stars in whatever system you're in. Itch, I don't use extra fuel tanks, nope. Noah, I'm just getting to the Moth Nebula. We're nearly there now. In fact, one more jump, so... let's have a quick look at what's in this system, seeing as we're right nearby to our destination. So Commander Wastelands is the first discoverer of those. Looks like a water world there, actually. Bit of a chunky distance away, though. No, I won't go to that. It'd take a little bit too much time. Although it's a decent amount of credits to scan that. Right, looks like we're here in the nebula. Actually got a nice view from it from outside there, and probably should have taken a little bit of footage there, but not to worry. Yeah, Trey, about 7-8 minutes there. I was expecting that, maybe even 10, but I thought I'd rather spend that time on stream having a look around at a few other things rather than just travelling in a straight line. Would have been worth it, perhaps, for the credits, but you know, I'm just wondering why this area is so dark. We're actually in the nebula here. That's sun. I think the brightness of that star is kind of muting out the colours of the backdrop, unless we're in the dark section of the nebula, which is always possible. Jump range, Andy, is 60 light years. Well, this is a pretty busy system, isn't it? What have we got? Oh, so they're still quite a distance away. It's always worth looking for how close some of these planets orbit each other as well, because you've got the potential for some interesting locations. They're probably a little bit too far away from each other. They're 100th of a light second away, which is, I don't think it, then 100th of something, but 100th of a light second is a pretty significant distance. But we're going to have a look. Oh, just 4 minutes. That's a bit quicker then, Trey. I was estimating about 8 or so, 8 or 9. I don't think it's because I'm pointing at the zenith of the galaxy, Zabadian, if you're talking to me there. regards to the darkness we're looking at, I think it's secluded due to the nebula here. Right, so the nebula's not quite as bright as I was expecting it to be, but you can see the little planetary system coming up here. Quite close together. Always nice seeing them pass by at a distance like that. So there is actually, or used to be anyway, a graphical mod you can use to get rid of the Stardust effect. And for those types of things, and I'm not a big fan of the Stardust effect, to be perfectly honest. I wish it was. I wish there was an option in game to disable it. Unfortunately, there's not. But like I say, there did used to be a mod for it, and I'm not sure if, thinking about it, can EG Profiler remove the dust? Can't remember. Felix, the orrery is very good for finding views. Totally agree. I think, as Matthew pointing out there, seems there's not too much functionality to the orrery map, but I suspect Frontier will keep iterating upon that. Ah, Ben, so it can be changed in the ini file. Great. Might remove it again. I've removed it in the past. Tempted to remove it again. So I wasn't expecting these planets to be quite that close together. But nice to see that they are. Next up will be to see if they've got any geological surface features on them. This one here looks like it'd be a bit more interesting to land on, so let's scan that and see what we can see. 4 probes. Easy. I hope. Yep, Derp, you can remove the dust, but unfortunately again it's one of those things you can only do on a PC, as you need to modify the game files to do it. Right, so let's scan the other planet as well. Where is it? There you are. Oh, just 2 probes for this one, so it must be a fair chunk smaller. Hey Dave, well hi there as well.
Surface scan complete.
We have got some geological surface features. One on close to the Terminator there, but too much over the other side of the planet. We need one that's going to give us a horizon view to the world behind us. Maybe one of these, but they look like they're around the other side a bit too much, unfortunately. So first off, we're going to go descend into that massive crater here. Yep, Trey, I totally agree that the dust is a necessity for flight assist off, but that's not something I actually do myself, so I can usually make do without the dust. Yeah, I didn't notice the biological there. Azibadian, thank you. Well, head over to one of those in a bit and have a look. Right, nice low gravity here, fortunately. Yeah, unfortunately as well, any further around, and we're not going to see that moon at all, so we're not going to get to see it. Where is it? Over there. We're not going to get to see it from the surface of any of the geological or biological features. Crazy, I've got the regular detailed surface scanner. If you just need to scan small moons for 2 probes. Just going to get up to the top of the ridge here. I was hoping we'd be able to see the other moon from inside the crater, but it's nice to have a moon hanging so close by. Something I always look for. You probably realise that by now on streams, but you need a decent surface to back it up against as well, which unfortunately we haven't really got here. It's all very flat. And not quite as nice as of a shot as it otherwise could be. Unless we spend a bit of time trying to find a canyon or a little hill range or something like that. Let's get back up in space and have a look at those other surface sites. Infiltration. Any suggestions for a ship well suited for conflict zones? So, I'm not really that much into combat myself. I'm not really the person to ask for that. Some people take larger ships. I don't really do any combat in larger ships. I have done conflict zones in medium-sized ships. I've not had too much of a problem. I've even done conflict zones in my favourite combat ship, which is a Vulture. As long as you stay to the outer edges there, you're not too bad. But unfortunately, I'm not really the guy to ask for outfitting a combat ship or what's best for those sort of areas. Well, it turned out not too bad area, look. Although we're getting some artifacts off the ring, unfortunately. And it looks a little bit dark, but... Right, we want one of these biological ones, I think. Just wondering if we could get those, well, moons lined up with the gas giant there. Did the other one have surface features on it? They both do, yeah. And they both got biological, they have indeed. Ooh. Seeing if we can get a shot of these you might be able to, you know. We kind of slightly the wrong angle. Lassie, hey there. We're just flying around the Moth Nebula, just looking at a few of the sites here. I'm heading back towards Waypoint 2 after that. Just messing around with some camera shots while we were at it. Anything new to see, Big Bang? Depends on when you were last aware of content for Elite. If you haven't been seeing for the last few months, then there's plenty of new things to see, but I don't think there's anything new in the past few days. There's some good potential there anyway. Let's not mess around too much with it. We'll get down to that surface site and see what these biologicals are. Gus, yes, I'm on the Distant Worlds 2 expedition. What ship do I think is best for mining? I like using Python for mining.
Orbital flight engaged.
Terra King, I'm playing with HOTUS. I've got a Warthog here, Thrustmaster Warthog. Slightly more interesting looking crater over that way. In the end, that other one on the other side of the planet wasn't so neat. Unfortunately, we're going to be going down a little bit too low and going to lose that gas giant over the horizon. But we're here to see the biologicals anyway. What's it going to be? Leathery eggs, maybe. If it is, I'm taking a cargo hold full and we're taking it back to Omega Orbital. We're going to make a delivery of leathery eggs. If that's indeed what it is, which, you know, I doubt, but be fun to see the results, wouldn't it? Oh, these are making some weird noises. Bark mounds. Big Bang. No, I don't have a stick extension for the Warthog. Wasn't expecting to be able to see the gas giant from, yeah? Oh, it was a little bit, that was a little bit rough, wasn't it? Plenty of bark mounds here. I'd like to know how they make this noise. Bark mounds, every biosignal ever. There is a lot of them around, definitely. I do use rudder pedals, mostly random. Yeah, there's some space pumpkins Zibadan over at or Zibadian over on the view. Kind of aliens, Stellino. Well, no, not the sentient type. I don't think I've got the composition scanner set to a fire group purify. That's why I couldn't scan the fumaroles over on the other moon, the other planet. No, you don't want to scan these? Why not? What am I doing wrong? I've still not got it scanned. Duh, I didn't have it activated. There we go. Biological and geological discovery made. Bark mounds. Let's go have a drive through the field then. So as Hero, is the Crate 2 good for exploring? Yeah, the Crate 2 is a reasonable exploration ship. It has a good jump range. Not as good as the Crate Phantom, but you can take a fighter along with you if you so wish, which is a nice option for some people. Whoa, some sparks flying off there. Just looking which button for the stabilizer control. There's so many button numbers I can't remember which one that's actually referring to. Shadow Wolf, hey there. Yep, going well, thank you. How are you? And that comes in. Let's try and get this wide field of view look. There we go. Interesting looking field, this one. Sometimes the bark mound fields are not quite as extensive as this one. Sometimes they're a little bit closer clustered together, or sometimes they don't go off to the horizon in quite the same way. Good to hear, Shadow Wolf. Bang. There's a couple of people saying that this reminds them of the planet from Riddick. We just have to wait for night time, I guess. Yep, the Aspie's good for mining. The Aspie Explorer. Is it worth exploring the galactic arms? So, yeah, personally I think it is. It's not always the sort of thing a lot of people do. They certainly don't always go off to the right side of the galaxy either. That's one of the least explored areas. But definitely worth doing, really, especially if you want to try and find things or get codex entries that other people haven't got just yet. There's still relatively unexplored areas of the galaxy. Yeah, quite a nice location there. Hey there, Axon Tia. Great to see you. Whoa, we're gonna wreck this SRV here if we're not careful. At least that's one way back to the ship and one quick way back to orbit. Yep, Howell's Crate Mark II is good for mining. Pretty much any of the mid-sized ships are good for mining, really, unless they're combat focused, then perhaps not so much, but right, was there some more geological surface features ahead of us, or were they all in the other direction? Unfortunately, I can't see. And we're mess locked. Mostly random. Is the new update out? Which update is that? Unless you mean Chapter 4, which of course, yes, that is out already. Right, so there is some other geological surface sites around, biological as well. I just want to see precisely where they are. I don't look like there's any in front of us, unfortunately, which is what I was hoping for. Nope, all behind. Oh, maybe there's one here. Question is, how far away? Looks like it's right around the other side of the planet. Let's come out a little bit. Oh, yeah, all the way around the other side, unfortunately. So there will be bark mounds. Pretty much all the rest of them will be bark mounds here, so definitely won't go down to them. But we will go down to this one. Just see what that's about. So normally, from what I've seen, most biological surface signals are the same across on the planet. Although you can get geological and biological signals on a single planet, generally speaking, they're the same right across the entire planet. Ah, the Omega. Osmodian. It's one of my favourite all-time computers. I had an Amiga 500 back when I was young. An Amiga 1200, you still got it. Nice. Actually never got the Amiga 1200. Yeah, classic computer, the Amiga. A lot of memories to that. A lot of great games. And we're down. Not too much going on here though, unfortunately. Oh, excuse me. So I think for today that's where we're going to leave it right here. We'll park up here, and in the next stream we'll head back to Waypoint 2 and maybe see about finishing off one of those community goals which are still playing out. I did transfer out my vulture there, so we've got a bit of combat maybe we can do, depending on how many NPCs are about. Be worth having a look at, I think. But yeah, been a good stream. Thanks everyone. Do want to do a few shout outs before we go here, and of course we'll do the usual Twitch raid as well. So thank you to Anagon for becoming a member there. Does the ship stay in game when we log out, Cornflakes? No, the ship will actually disappear when we log out. Stephen Hodges, thank you very, very much for that. Thank you, Matthew Sharp. The Galactic Wolf, thank you. Mirazamar, the Martial Art, and Raptor again, thank you. And Mithril Tier, thank you very, very much for that. And those are the guys on, the people over on YouTube, and I think there was quite a few over on Twitch as well. So thank you, Mike, very, very much for that. Very much appreciated. Very kind of you. The same to Black Lemon as well. Very generous, thank you. And Rescue One as well. And Cars Max. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong there, but thank you. I think I might have actually, don't know if I gave you a shout out earlier on in the stream, Max. Apologies if not. Your granny is the biggest fan. Thank you for that. And hello to your granny if she's watching. Thank you. Nice to see you there from Russia. So yeah, I think that is where we're going to leave it today. I will have some videos out in the week, of course. There'll probably be 3305 tomorrow, if not on Tuesday. And the next live stream will be on Wednesday. Although I'm thinking of doing one on Tuesday as well, if I can fit it in. That might be an additional one. We'll see how it goes. I might try and push up to 4 live streams a week rather than 3. We'll see. But for now, let's go and have a look at who we're going to raid over on Twitch. Sure, there's quite a few people streaming there. I think we'll go and raid Commander Face Sky again. There we go. So thank you everyone. Been a brilliant stream. Nice to see you all again. And I'll catch you next time. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.